This episode, as all others before and after, are brought to you by you. You and all the other anime addicts across the globe, raising your voices to spread the word and show support. Lifting your fingers to type up a relatively pleasant review or clicking the like button to help the algorithm. And yes, even those who arduously heft with heroic splendor to support us financially, and in return get a bevy of bonus content. From after parties where we talk inside baseball and way too much food, to hentai episodes where we and you wouldn't up there and you would not and our hobby addicts where I've been playing so many video games that I want you to hear about. So please, for me, for my sake, and all of us here at the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast, we appreciate your support, even if it's just listening. So thanks again. Let's get on to the podcast.
何よ、アニメアディクツアノニマスのライブブロードキャストやってるって言ってるでしょ。聞きなさいよね。You are listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to episode 772 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. My name is Mason, and we might have a small crew today of only 2 people, but we have enough spicy, scorching hot takes to fill a bucket with. Joining me today to do such an arduous task is Caroline. How's it going?
Heyo. It's going good. I am just recuperating from my cousin's wedding yesterday. It was a very nice wedding. We had fantastic weather. Suddenly became June for just yesterday, and now it's completely crap outside.
One day of spring. So that was a great spring, everybody.
It was. Let's do it again next year.
I look forward to it.
And only just now have I realized that I forgot to pick up my room before the show started, and now all of my things, my bags,
laid
my clothes,
bare to the audio podcast.
This is how I live.
But
yeah,
a couple people joining us on Twitch, on YouTube, as we stream live every Sunday, get to see the complete disarray of Caroline's life fall apart behind her. But that's okay. You have a good excuse. You know, this isn't your everyday. This is post-wedding Caroline. So
yeah,
we can all be forgiven for such travesties. As always, my room is hidden behind the camera, so no one can see the shame.
Isn't that nice?
Exactly.
I should have thought about that.
You know, when you just have to clean
making my setup.
a 5% area of your space, it makes it a little bit easier. But anyway, thank you, those who join us live and just at all. Just listening to us is a huge thank you from us. So we appreciate it. We also appreciate it if you follow us on the Twitters, the TikToks, the Facebooks, the Discords, all the places that social media allegedly happens. I don't know. I'm not a participant in society, but I appreciate those who do. I appreciate all the fun activities we have. New season of anime is right around the corner. So we got anime watch parties. We have anime clubs that Caroline helps lead up. So it's a good place on the Discord. So check it out if you want to see some anime nerds and be in good company. But yeah, I think today's topic will be fun. It's very, in vogue with social media, I'm told. We were doing a blind ranking of anime shows, and other things. So you'll understand what that is later, but it's a good time, as well as a review of Demon Lord 2099. And I'm going to try my best to keep up with Caroline's hot takes. I'm going to try to hope that my computer can keep up with all the stuff I'm going to try to be doing visually on the show. Caroline,
you and me both, Mason. You know that my computer is notorious for struggle busing.
So we appreciate any guidance in everything. But with that, let's get to the big news of the week.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Caroline, do you actually want to lead this off? Because this is probably the actual big news, which is just the onslaught of sequels that just kept on getting announced this week.
There are quite a few. We got ReZero Season 4 announced. The Season 3 just ended, so it's nice that that came out pretty quickly, that news. We got Bang Dream Ave Mujica. We got Anyway I'm Falling With You. I'm not familiar with that one, but we got
I think
it.
it's like a shoujo romance of this season. Like, so all of these shows like are pretty much just have recently concluded. And just as their last episode aired, they're like, new season, new season, new season. And
Yeah.
there's more of these in the news break. But keep on going.
We got Blue Box, Me Burrow, Medalist, Shangri-La Frontier, and Toilet Bound Hanako-kun all got their sequels announced. So Mason, what are you excited about?
This is tricky. So I've been watching ReZero, and it's fine. You know, we're only still about halfway caught up to where the light novels are. So there's a lot more ReZero to come if White Fox just wants to keep on cooking. And I don't see them stopping anytime soon. I mean, they just have this huge epic franchise, and they're probably just going to keep on pumping it out. So I'm okay with that. Blue Box, we're going to do a review on that in a couple weeks, I think. So I haven't been following up with that one, so I'm curious to see where that goes. Medalist, I'm super hyped for. I think that one has really turned people around. Shangri-La is probably more Shangri-La. I haven't even watched season 2, but sure, sign me up for season 3. But the one I'm probably the most interested is the Bang Dream Ave Mujica combo, because we got one season of the Peanut Butter Bang Dream It's My Go, and one season of the Jealousy Ave Mujica, and now they're coming together maybe to form like the sandwich they always meant to be. They always seemed like two halves of one whole. So are we going to get, how's that going to balance? How are those character interactions going to play out? Where is that going to lead? I think this is kind of an interesting, do a part A story, part B, and now they're fusion highing their way together. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that seems like the most logically interesting. I don't know if it's the most good, but it's the most interesting.
I am actually very interested in the sequel to Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
Okay. Have you been keeping up with it?
I am not finished with season 2
Okay.
yet. I'm like 3/4 of the way there. I have a few episodes left. Honestly, really interesting sequel to the first season. A little less episodic, a little bit more of a storyline we got going on here. Hanako's doing some really morally gray things.
As befitting of a spooky demon ghost creature boy who maybe isn't the goodest boy.
Yeah, but like all throughout the first season, he's kind of like he's seen as like a mischievous
He's a prankster
protagonist.
Yeah.
In this season, the things that he's doing, like the thing that he's trying to do is good in nature. Like he wants to do something that is good in a way, but he is going about it. He's like the ends justify the means kind of thing right now. And it's like, it's pretty good. So not gonna lie, kind of interested to see where they take this for the next season.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who hasn't followed up with season 2 and found season 1 a little monster of the arc-ish, if not monster of the week, I guess I didn't need more. But if they just keep that art style, it's worth it.
Yeah, the art
it's
style's
so
great.
good. Oh my goodness. The colors, the way, the gradients on them, it's amazing. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're at all interested in continuing that, I will say that it's not very monster of the week at the moment. There is, they did have a couple of arcs without, like, it being too set in an episode. So I recommend it as it is right now.
The monster of the week was the Hanako-kuns we met along the way. And my big news of the week is not really anime, because it's not about an anime or about animation, but it's just tangentially related enough that I think people might care, which is the announcement of a live-action Legend of Zelda film. So Nintendo announced on its new app a live-action film that will open worldwide on March 26, 2027. So right off the bat, that's like forever away. Like who even knows what they're doing that day? But they streamed the news with the title screen and background music from The Legend of Zelda for the NES. So is this going to be OG? Is this going to be an original story? Like, how are you going to take a full Zelda game and compress it into a 1.5 to 2.5 hour movie? I don't know. They're co-financing the work with Sony. And it's no real surprise. This has been kind of talked about under the table for years. And we're seeing a ton of live-action video game movies from Detective Pikachu, Super Mario Brothers, Uncharted, Minecraft, Borderlands, Tomb Raider, Five Nights at Freddy's, Mortal Kombat. Like, we're getting so many live-action video games. So I guess it's not surprising to me. The only thing I find funny is that March 19th, 2027, a week before the release of Zelda, is the release of the fourth Sonic movie, which people would not have expected it to be so beloved as it is. So where are you at with this, Caroline? Excited? Do you like Zelda very much? Do you care? Where are you at with this?
I've only really played Breath of the Wild, but I'm fairly knowledgeable in the background of Zelda and the different games and all that stuff. I'm interested in this. I might be interested in seeing this movie depending on how it looks as it comes out. If it's going to flop or not, who knows? The only thing that gives me a bit of a pause is that Link is famous for not talking in these games. He's a quiet guy. It's not even that, it's just he's a guy who does not talk much. So therefore, I'm not sure how they would put that into his character, as a main character of a film.
I really do not have high hopes for this. I'm a pessimistic fellow at heart, but I am excited for all the interviews with, an actor gets cast as a character and then they go on the whole media tour to promote the show or movie or whatever. All the people who are like Robert Pattinson is playing the titular Zelda when because everyone thinks that Zelda is the Link character. So I'm looking forward to all the mistakes and gaffes that people have in just not knowing the franchise. But it's too soon to tell. But I just don't know if live action is the way to do it and if this is the right franchise for it. But who knows? Maybe, I guess if someone were to say, Mason, you have to direct a Legend of Zelda film and not make it suck ass. I feel like you got to go ambitious and do Majora's Mask, time manipulation to prevent the moon from crash. Go wild with it. Don't give me safe, plain Zelda, because that's boring at this point. We've gotten that. So, there we go.
Well, depending, based on what they did with Super Mario, which was take all the characters of Super Mario and make it literally every single children's film ever.
Yeah.
Copy and paste story beats and characterizations and all that stuff. Hopefully it's not that, but it's very easily could be that.
They can't beat Minecraft. It's the greatest movie / game ever, right? Has that even come out yet? I don't know. Biggest fan ever.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I was watching the Spring Baking Championships, and of course they had to do a commercial for it, so they made Minecraft cakes, and I'm like, God, I hate it when they do commercials with these shows. I just want to watch people bake.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite are the Netflix commercials that are advertising the Netflix that I'm currently paying for in the middle of my Netflix shows. Let me know that I should buy Netflix to watch. And I was like, they got me, I guess. But okay, we can move on to our main topic, which is blind ranking of anime. So the way that this will work, as I get our lists up on the board, is that we are going to rank shows from 1 being the best thing ever to 7th being our least favorite in the set. But we do not know what the list of shows are as we go through them. So one show at a time will pop up for us. And I think we'll do this together. I think it'll be more fun to debate. We'll have to
just
choose.
Let me know how to
So for example, let's say we were ranking 2 shows and someone said, okay, the first show on your list is Space Brothers. And you're like, okay, that's a good show. I'll rank it at number 1. And then the next show is Attack on Titan. And you're like, well, that has to get the number 2 spot. You don't know what will come. So you have to kind of vibe check your way to, do I think shows will come later that are better? And you'll have to scramble if you mess up big time. So.
Yeah.
The way
I also have a couple of rankings for you to do after we're done doing it.
Yeah. We're going to see how it goes. This is going to be a bit crazy and kooky, but we'll give it a shot. So,
And also, there are several shows that you have seen that I haven't seen.
so
therefore.
I have manipulated this so only shows that you have seen will pop up.
Oh, okay.
So I just need to manipulate my cameras so that you are not frozen anymore. Because I don't know. I'm a goober.
I don't
It's
like
not-
that
no, you're good,
screenshot
you're
of me,
good.
Mason.
You're good. You're fixed. I saved you. Okay, so I have this cool site up. Let me share it with the folks. Boom. Okay, so they can see what's happening. So this is just a beginner round. No fancy anything. This is just going based on your list on shows you have completed. And we're going to hit spin, and then we're going to see where we rank them respectively, okay?
Okay.
So I thought about trying hard and like hand selecting these shows. Not going to happen. So our first show that we have to rank from 1 to 7 is the Slime 300 show.
Okay.
So this came out in I don't know, a couple years back.
Yeah, it says 2021 on the site.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was like a not bad but not great show. And it had some fun things I liked, including a gigantic hat.
The hat is, I mean, you got to give it at least the 5th spot for the hat alone.
Yeah, so it's just an okay show. So therefore, I think I'll put it 5. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Probably a 5.
I'm also going to put it at 5 because I know
Did you see it?
the kind of things you've seen. And so
Oh, are you is that supposed to be an insult?
I'm just saying you've been on this podcast for a number of years, Caroline. And I know what you've been subjected to.
There are some dookies in there.
There's going to be some worse shows than that. So we're going to spin again. Are you ready?
Yeah, all right.
Next show on the list. And this website we're playing on is spin.moe, which sounds like it would be a dirty website, but it's not. And it's pretty good. So next show, Eurocamp Season 2. Arguably the best season.
It's a really fun show.
Yeah.
I think because I believe that there are some pretty good shows on this list. Like this is just a calming, nice show. A Eurocamp. Probably 3, I'm thinking for myself.
Ooh, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'm gonna go 4 just to break it up a bit, but I agree with you in concept. So I'm gonna put those on the board and spin again. Sorry.
Okay.
Next show is Bloom Into You. Or is that Bloom Into You? That has to be Bloom
I think
Into
so.
You. I don't know
Yeah,
why the
Bloom Into You.
translation says eventually I will become you. So
I think
maybe
that's the transliteration.
yeah, maybe it's not the best site for that. But that's a very
I don't know.
fine shoujo Yuri romance thing.
I can't really remember a lot about it. That's a problem. Because I did not dislike the show. I thought it was a fine show. Let's see. What do I have here? I would hate to take up a prime mid spot, but I think I might have to make this my mid, my 4, if you will.
Okay, that's smart. I had to I could not give it higher than a 3, so I've relegated it to my 6th spot. So right now you've got
Now I'm starting to
Eurocamp.
rethink. Maybe now I'm starting to think maybe have it at 6.
Oh no, you're gonna
I don't know.
You're gonna backpedal?
Yeah. I feel like in order to have a very in order to find a good overall ranking list, I feel like that fits better. And what if I'm forced to put a real good show in the Dookie area and vice versa?
You never know when the Dookie will appear, so you gotta leave a slot at the top and the bottom, but that could be dangerous. All right, next show on this first round is, oh my goodness, where are these like subtitles not giving me the good ones of the English titles?
My Senpai's Annoying is what it's called. Okay, another fairly decent show, which I'm glad I left the 4 spot open because I think that would fit well there. Yeah. I'm glad I made that decision.
Yeah, that was a good tactical move. So you like Senpai more than Bloom?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely remember Senpai more than Bloom. And there was more to love about it than Slime 300. Overall, Your Camp is still a better show, so I think that really works.
Gotcha. My negativity has done me wrong because now I have slots 1 through 3 open, but everything else is full. So I need some banger shows to come out in a row. What do we have next?
Aka
Okay,
13.
okay. Aka
Okay,
13.
okay,
I
okay.
can work with this. We're doing good, folks. We're back in the game.
Personally, I liked Your Camp and Senpai better than Aka. I don't know. It's just a personal preference. It is a good show, so I think having it at 2 works for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do 2 because I think I gave this like an 8 out of 10. It's so stylish. It's so unique. And
Now,
I don't
yeah,
think I
sorry.
can count on 2 shows being better than it.
I just need a one really, really, really good show and one really, really, really bad show.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't want to win the first time we play the game. And I guess winning just
How are
amounts
we
to...
winning? How are we deciding that?
I think winning just amounts to having a list that had
That
you seen
makes
all
sense.
these shows simultaneously, you would have ranked them similarly, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, that's... I guess the fun is we have to justify our list at the end, even if it's awful. So, let me turn it back on so people can see. Next show on the list is...
Kageki Shoujo. Yes. Okay. I did not like this show very much. So throw it in the 7th spot, Mason. Throw it in.
Oh my goodness. See, I'm okay with this in my number 3 slot. Like, it's not my kind of show. Just gonna hear my clacking. This is just become ASMR, the keyboard hours. But you know
Love
what?
that.
I can digest this being on the same rough level as Euro Camp Season 2. It was ambitious, it was fun, and it was different. It was odd. It was neat. I appreciate it.
There were decent things about it, but honestly, I can't remember much about it. And also, Review Starlight has merged with this show for me. I didn't really like
Yeah.
Review as much either, but the fact that 2 different shows are merging into
One
I
collective.
can't remember which one did what. That's a problem.
I mean, if I had to recommend one of these to people, I would recommend Review Starlight, if only to watch the phenomenal movie that came with it.
That's not even on this list, though.
Yeah, it's not on the list. It's not part of the game. So right now, we both have our number 1 spot open. And the
Okay,
rest filled
what
out.
is it?
So we need, Caroline, we need this to be a good show. Otherwise, we both
Yeah.
lose. Oh, sorry for the absolute visual vomit that's on screen right now, but I hope it's paying off. And for those audio listeners,
I think it works
I
well.
apologize for nothing. Here we go. Number 1 show. Come on, give it to us. What do we got? Oh, no.
Yes, 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 yes. I win. It's School Live, Gakko Garashi. Hell yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this?
This worked out
Oh my goodness.
fantastically.
How did
Fantastically for me.
How did you do this?
I don't know. I just did it.
Explain why this is the best show, both objectively and doing this game. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, just for people who are completely unaware what School Live is, just watch the first episode. And that should give you a good idea because everything else is going to be a bit of a spoiler because there's a big reveal. Looks like a cute girls doing cute things show. Just some kids having fun in their school. But it turns out it is the zombie apocalypse and the main character is an unreliable narrator and she is completely disillusioned by what's going on around here. She thinks that everything's happy-go-lucky, but they are in the zombie apocalypse. People are dying. There's this one episode where it just I thought it's so much better than people give it credit for. The end.
Yeah, that's a fair pitch. And your list doesn't lie. I think you did pretty good. Number 1, School Live,
Yeah.
Aka 13, Euro Camp Season 2, My Senpai is Annoying, Slime 300, Bloom Into You, and Kageki Shoujo. That's
Yeah. Like, I
It's not
might
bad.
have put Yuru Camp over Aka 13 in my opinion, but other than that, it is fairly accurate to how I would rank these shows.
Okay. Do we want to play again?
Yes, I do.
Or do we want to take a break and do a different
Oh, do you want to do one of the ones I
category?
put together?
Oh my goodness. I do not care, Gemini. Please do not listen to me.
Oh, Gemini
Whatever I
is
said, I
acting up
guess,
for you.
triggered the Android vocal thing. But yeah, put together something for me if you don't mind.
All right. So I came up with a couple ideas. I wanted to make more, and I'm not sure about how the quality of this will go, but it's what I got. So, Mason, you will have to be ranking characters from March Comes In Like a Lion based on how much you like them. Okay?
Okay, as a character or just like as a person?
Oh, I think that one and the same. I mean, you can pick. You can pick. Which one would you
Okay.
prefer to do?
Okay. I'll see how the characters strike my fancy, and then I'll go from there.
All right. First up, Nikaido.
Ooh, gotta go 3. I was
All
gonna say
right.
2 or 3, but if you put characters that I like more, which I'm hoping you do, I only gotta save 2 spots. So Nikaido gets a solid 3.
I mean, I could only really come up with 7, of the most important characters that
Yeah,
you would remember well, that people would remember well. So there really won't be too much flux, because generally speaking, the main characters of March Comes In Like a Lion are decent characters.
yeah.
Um,
There's a couple
yeah,
scumbags in there, but yeah.
oh yeah, but I wouldn't call those the main characters, you know? And so I wasn't sure if you were to remember much about like characters like Goto, so I didn't put him in there.
No,
But I
but
probably should have.
is Goto like the teacher guy that he goes to hang out with in season
No,
2?
Goto is the lover of his sister. His
Yeah.
sister's lover, if you will. So you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm pulled up like a cast list so I can try to remember everyone's names. But yeah, okay, Nikaido 3. Go for it.
All right. Next up, we have Akari.
She is besto. Um Dang, you're really front loading these. God dang. I don't want to go 2, though she probably single-handedly like brings the comfy in the show, so I'm gonna go 2. I can't put Akari below any lower. This is the opposite problem of our last round, is that I'm just just front loading it now. Okay.
Next
Akari's
up,
2. Yeah.
Ray.
Sorry, who?
Ray, our main
Oh,
character.
right. I'm gonna put him down at 6. He's
Wow.
amazing. He's our precious baby boy, and he's exactly the kind of character the show needs. But he's just kind of there. What did I give? 6? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sticking with 6.
Okay. Next up, Grandpa Kawamoto. So Akari's grandpa.
Yeah, he's pretty funny,
I love
but
him.
he's so minimal to the show. You know, like you could take him out and you wouldn't lose much.
I would lose a lot, actually.
That's fair. I'm gonna put him at 7. I'm gonna put him at 7.
Okay.
I feel like there's so many good characters in this show.
Momo.
5.
No, she
She's-
has to be number 1.
No. She's not that essential.
Yes, she
she's
is.
essential
She's
to
the cutest character.
She is adorbs. But she isn't Totoro, and Nikaido is Totoro, so she can't be higher than him. Okay,
Aw.
Momo at 5. So Momo, Ray, Grandpa, 5, 6, 7. Akari 2, Nikaido 3. So we have the 1 spot and the 4 spot open.
I'm not keeping track.
Yeah. Okay.
Next, Shimada. So the mentor of Ray.
Oh, he's so based. I love him.
He's so great.
I mean, the only person that can be higher than him at this point is obviously Mustache Science Man. And I have a feeling that you didn't put him. You probably
No, because I wasn't sure if you'd remembered him. But yeah, you are correct. He does need to be number one.
Yeah. So I'll put Shimada at number one.
And last, as you have figured out, is Hinata.
Yeah, and she'll get number 4. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so what's the ending ranking there?
The number 1 is Shimada, number 2 is Akari, number 3 is Nikaido, number 4 is Hinata, number 5 is Momo, number 6 is Rei, number 7 is Grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But this is about your opinions, not
mine.
It
is. It helped kind of with a limited pool to pick from, kind of like leaning forward into anticipating what other options were coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. The next one that I have made for you might be a little bit difficult to.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more difficult to predict.
Oof. Well,
but let's get back to our main event here.
The prime time.
Yes.
We'll do another round of the Caroline randomizer, and then I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I think we're going to have some fun. So, the first on the board in round 2, believe it, it's Naruto.
This one is tough. Naruto is a mixture of major highs and major lows. It's very long, so it's hard to put a ranking on that. I don't even think I put a score on it for the longest time on my anime list because I didn't know what. I enjoyed the show, but it's hard to put a singular score on such a long show. But this is just the first part of Naruto.
It is the first 220 episodes. No bonus round, no Boruto, no Naruto's dad, son 2 or whatever.
I think I'll put this at 3.
3. Okay. I was expecting 3 or higher, but I wasn't expecting 3 there. I put it at 6. I can't vouch for this show. I'm not a shonen boy. You guys know that. So, already I'm glad our lists are diverging, I think, which is good. Mm-hmm. So, next show on the list is Vivy, Fluorite Eyes Song.
Now, it's a decent show. Not my favorite. Think I'll put that at 5.
I don't remember what I gave Vivy.
Actually.
It's worse than Naruto. But, it's not, 207 episodes worse than Naruto. So I put Naruto at 6. So, do I already put Vivy in the bottom slot? I don't think I can do that. I'm going to put Vivy at 5.
I am going to put Vivy at 5 as well.
Okay, I'll put Vivy on 5. Yeah, you talk about this next one.
Kyoso Giga. I did not like this one. I know that there are some. It's like a cult classic to some people that they actually do really enjoy the show. I did not even finish it. I don't think.
Say the meme. Say the meme.
What's the meme? I know it's something with a hammer.
Hammer
goes bonk.
Hammer go bonk. Giga, 10 episodes, really weird and abstract family dynamics, weird societal, cultural. It's all over the place. I love it. This is my kind of show. I'm gonna put it. Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the 3 spot.
I am not. I'm sure people, if they have listened for a little while, know this already. I am not into abstract hammer goes bonk anime. I know people might not know what that means, but it's very fitting. I'm gonna put this at 6. I believe that there is some worse stuff.
Okay, so our lists have both Vivy at 5, and we just have switched our number 3 and number 6 between Naruto and Kyoso Giga. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I'm sure very few people have actually seen Kyoso Giga, and will be like, oh yeah, Naruto's so much better. That's my show. So people are definitely hard agreeing with you more than me right now. But that could change with the next one.
It's not hammer goes bonk. It's hammer goes boink.
Boink. Oh.
Boink.
Well, I think we're gonna agree on this next one. Let's see. It's
Ooh!
Rakugo Shinju season 2. So not only one of the best anime perhaps ever, but the superior second season of one of the best anime
Yeah.
ever. So
Yes.
not to show my hand, but this has got to go number 1.
Number 1. Put it in.
Sorry,
Can't go wrong with that one.
I'm trying to say like mostly quiet so people don't hear all my click clacking, but yeah, it's Rakugo. If you have not seen the show, listeners, it's good. It's really good. It's about an art form that you probably have never seen before, and you're like, oh, but I don't speak Japanese and like don't appreciate Japanese
Doesn't matter,
theater.
bruh.
Like, how could I? Doesn't matter, my friend. Just watch it. The symbolism, the romances, the writing, the characters. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
where
and
are
that
we at?
reminds me. I'm going to add in something to our mailbag answers because we do write our answers ahead of time, and this just reminded me of another answer I want to give.
All right,
earlier.
next show on the Wheel of Death. Let's spin it. Why, Caroline? Why do we always play these games where we can't prepare ahead of time and just whenever it's you and me, we play these things where we just have to off the cuff it and it never goes well.
No, it goes well. What are you talking about?
Listen, we'll see. We're in dicey territory now because this is a tricky one to place, and that is the 100 girlfriends who love you. Season 1.
Really
Love you. Yeah.
Yeah. You got it wrong, man.
I ski.
Okay, where do I put this? I don't know. It's either going in my 2 or 4. It's just a matter of will I get another really good show? And will I get a mid show?
Where you get a really good show. So I put it in my number 4. I believe.
Yeah, I think I can't justify putting it in my 2. I'm gonna put it in 4.
I mean, I like this position. Like, it's definitely better than Vivi. Like, it's not more ambitious, but I think it does what it's trying to do better. And, you know, it's not on the level of Naruto for you or Kyoso Giga for me, but that's okay.
But logically, or like just for, you know, strategy reasons, having a mid spot is a really important thing to have available to you.
So when, like I said, I was planning on making like very meticulously made lists for you, and I figured this would be more fun. But also, I figured if we did 10 slots, like that could be confusing for like audio listeners to try to keep track of that many slots. And 5 really doesn't give you enough range. But 7, it gives you a nice clear designated. 4 is the middle of the pack, and I think that helps.
Yeah, and this fits 100 girlfriends perfectly.
Yeah. All right. We have a 2 slot and a
Roll
7 slot for both of us. So once again, we're in the same position.
Weird how that always works out.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe we're kind of convincing each other a bit. Here we go.
Yeah.
Second to last one. What do we have? Somali and the Forest Spirit. Tricky.
I don't really think about Somali very often, but it was a pretty decent show when it came out, I think.
I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. Like, it came out, people like genuinely enjoyed it. Like, if you're into those slower fantasy slice of life kind of family dramas, but it doesn't really have a ton of staying power. It kind of was a show that people were like, yeah, that exists, and kind of moved on. I enjoyed it.
Somali's
I'm gonna
definitely
risk
worth second place by herself.
I'm gonna put it at 7. I'm gonna put it at 7.
Wow. I'll have to put it in 2. I can't put it in 7 below Kyoso Giga.
Yeah, okay. So you have a 7 slot. I have a 2 slot. So I'm rolling for big money.
Yeah.
Yes, chat. Somali is probably not a 7 in my book if I had to do this over again, but sometimes you gotta risk it to win. I don't even know what I'm winning, but here we go. Last show. Undead Unluck. Once again.
Yes.
Caroline's so good at this show.
Ah.
At this game, I should say. Well,
generally speaking,
tell
would
people
probably watch
why
another
it's a
episode
7.
of Undead Unluck over Kyoso Giga, but not that far off. Wow. I am so good at this game.
You are. So let's see. Rakugo season 2 for you, Somali and the Forest Spirit, Naruto, 100 Girlfriends, Vivi, Kyoso Giga, and Undead Unluck.
All right, I'm very happy with that one.
Yeah, I should not have risked it. I mean, Undead Unluck is clearly like ambitious for the shonen that it is, but it just did so many things that we weren't very favorable on to equate it. It's definitely not number 2. Like, had I had to do this again, Undead would probably get 5 or 6 for me. So,
Yeah, me too. I probably would have. It was more memorable to me than Vivi. I probably would have put it at 5 or 6. Somali probably would have taken 4. 100 Girlfriends 3. But in
Yeah.
general,
We used up
not
all
too
our
far.
good show points on one show and got a bunch of middle of the road and or nostalgically classically great stuff in Naruto that we didn't get a ton of consistent. It was kind of a mid category. But you know what? I would
to be
say
fair, Mason, it could have just as easily had been March Comes in Like a Lion, and you would have to have had to put that
Yeah.
in your.
Yeah.
You would have been able to put that in your second spot. I would have had to make that last place. So
Yeah. You know what?
it's all
it
a
could
matter
have
of luck.
happened, but you know what? It didn't. And I think the score goes 2-0 to Caroline. It's not a competition,
Thank
but you're
you.
winning. So do with that what you will.
But now we can do another little I can never say this word. Exhibition match. Exhibition. Yes. With another one of mine that you just play for yourself. If you're ready for it, that is.
Yeah, I'm ready. And of course, chat, please chime in and help me out because I'm clearly not doing a great job.
You're doing a great job.
I'm doing
Mason.
a
Don't
job.
worry yourself. You're doing amazing. So this next one is not just ranking characters in general. You are ranking characters from Attack on Titan based on how much you would want to hang out with them. Okay?
Okay.
And there's a lot of Attack on Titan characters, a lot of memorable characters.
I was
So
going to
therefore,
say, they are pretty memorable. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
shows you would say, hey, Mason, here are 20 characters from the show. And I would barely remember the main character. So I
Yeah.
think like it's a good one to pick from. So what do we got?
yeah, so this one might be a little bit tougher to pick and choose. First up, going in hard with Sasha.
My gut instinct is to say 1.
Isn't it? Yes, I agree.
I'm
But-
just trying to think, is there anyone I'd rather hang out with more? Like maybe it'd be fun to play catch with Zeke, but like he's kind of chipper.
Zeke is chipper, as you say.
Let's go 1. Let's go Sasha with 1.
All right.
I'm not thinking of someone who rises to the occasion above that.
Next up, we have. Let me just reveal it on our notes. Levi.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not my kink. So 6?
Ooh, that is down.
There's got to be someone more annoying than Levi. Not that Levi is annoying, but just from like a hanging out standpoint, you know? Where
He's
would
not.
I'll ask for your input after the fact because I do value.
Sure. Ready for your next one?
Yeah, sorry.
Flock.
Ooh. Honestly, still would want to hang out with him more than Zeke. Or not
Really?
Zeke. Levi.
That's insane to me. He's such a little bitch.
He is, but he's kind of like he'd be fun to play like video games with because he'd be trying every underhanded tactic instead of just like brooding moodily like Levi.
No, but Levi has a lot of fun sarcasm.
But he's so small. And small people aren't
That's
fun.
discriminatory.
I'm going to go 5. 5 for Flock.
Wow, okay. Next up. Sorry, my computer glitched. My gosh. I don't even know if I even need to be revealing these on our notes or not, but I'm
don't
doing
worry,
them anyway.
I'm not looking. I'm
Okay.
literally sharing my screen right now. So, like, you can unhighlight all of them, and I wouldn't not see it.
All right. Sure. Next up is Pixis. He's fun.
He's like the old mustache guy, right? Like their trainer?
Well, you didn't train them, but he's like the leader of the garrison.
Okay.
And he's just drinking all the time. He's pretty cool.
He'd probably have some badass stories. Whew, so I'm between 3 or 4 for him. Because he warms up at the end, right? Like after they go through the training, like he gets respect of them. I'll go 3. We'll go 3 for Pixis.
You're getting him confused with like the bald-headed guy at the training camp. You know, they're both bald.
Who's that guy?
That's why. Oh yeah, and he's probably Mitsugi too. You just don't know the difference between bald men.
I don't know. All bald men look alike.
Pixis and Shadis is their trainer.
Shadis is definitely who I was thinking of.
Yeah, this is Pixis. So he's like he's the one who formulates the plan in the first season at Trost.
He's an alcoholic. We're gonna slap him down to 7. Yeah, he's a sleepy boy.
For the next
can't
one.
hang out.
I don't know. I think he'd be fun to hang out with.
I'm sure he would be, but I'm sticking to it. Originally, I was thinking of Shadis, so I was gonna do like 3 or 4. But now that it's not him, he's the worst bald guy.
You'd rather Shadis over Pixis.
I don't know. I'm doing 7. I gotta keep my options open.
I don't know how you're keeping track of this. I could never remember placements in my head like this.
Let's see. So we have Sasha at 1, Pixis at 7, Levi at 6, Flock at 5. So I have 1, 3, and 4 open.
Aaron.
4.
Yeah, he's pretty mid.
He's
yeah.
Like he has like a lot of arc to him. So like at different times he'd be more. He's like that moody friend who, not like in a Levi way, but you got to hit him in the right zone. So I'm going 4. He's the mid. He's the neutral choice.
And so that leaves what 2 placements for you again?
1 and 2, or no, 2 and 3. Sorry, because
2 and 3. Okay.
2 and 3.
Hanji.
2.
Yeah, I feel like
second.
That's
she was the one person competing with Sasha for 1 in my mind at the very beginning. So I'm glad you brought her up. 2. Really 1A, 1B, but yeah, 2.
And last up, Bertolt.
Sure, well, I'll take that as 3.
Really, you want to hang out with Bertolt?
He's like the tall guy who kind of just like putzes along, right?
I guess in a way.
Yeah,
you could say that.
I mean, I'd rather hang out with him than Aaron. You know how much My Chemical Romance I would need to listen to with Aaron? I would not survive that. So, we have Sasha at 1, Hanj at 2, Bertolt at 3, Aaron at 4, Flock at 5, Levi at 6, and Old Man Pixis at 7.
All right.
Yeah. I'm okay. As long as I'm not competing against you, I think I do an okay job. But we'll see. How are we doing on time? Oh, okay. I think this will be a fun one. Let's do one more random time.
One more match.
So, let me bring up the visual vomit for the people watching live.
It's not that bad.
And we are going
very helpful
to once again go through Caroline's list, but this time we're ranking your dropped shows instead of your completed shows.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because it's funny.
That's an interesting concept. All right.
So we're gonna spin and see how it goes. Good luck, everybody. The first show is Mirai Nikki.
Okay. It was fun for a time. I could not do 2 cores of that, you know?
A little too edgy.
it's not that even cringy. It got a little boring, to be honest.
Okay.
But stylistically, it has its place. It's, in anime history. I think I'll be okay with giving that a 2.
Wow. And then remember, this is
There is some dog shit on my list.
okay.
There
That's
there are
fair. That's fair.
so many shows that were dropped 2 episodes in for impressions, that I never wanted to watch again.
Yeah, and you got like
And Mirai
halfway through
Nikki, I
this
have
one.
considered picking back up, so
Okay.
I'm not that ashamed.
Yeah, not my kind of show. But considering this is a list of potentially bad shows, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm
Wow,
gonna
taking
put
up
this
that
as
mid spot already.
yeah, because I don't know what kind of shows you've watched. I haven't scoped out the list. You know what you've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know the horrors. So
If they were good, I would have finished them.
Mirai Nikki at 2 for you, Mirai Nikki at 4 for me. Next on the dropped list of Caroline is Horimiya
Horimiya
Peace.
Peace. All right. I just dropped it because I've read the manga, and a lot of this was, little uh vignettes from it. I would put this at 1.
This is the best of the best for the drop?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, because I love Horimiya. I just didn't want to watch episodic or just the little vignettes every episode, and I just didn't feel the need to because I've read the manga. So
Oh, I put that on the wrong
Yeah.
list. I will fix that. I have not seen Horimiya Peace. Is it just more Horimiya? Is it like the same quality as the show?
well, quality meaning, same character, same kind of comedy. Yeah. It's just that in an episode, there will be like maybe 4 or something like that vignettes, different microscopic moments of the manga that were not really relevant in the main storyline that they adapted the first time. So,
Okay. Well, I'm going to just count it as more Horimiya, which I thought was fine. I'll put it at 3 on my list. I think you've watched better bad stuff.
that I didn't finish. If there was better, I would have finished it.
I don't know. I think this, I'm hoping from just the fundamental disagreement between you and me on some shows is where like I'll find
That's
my
true.
gems.
Yeah, there are several shows like Technolize. I did not finish Technolize, and I think you probably would have liked Technolize. If
I
you've
love
seen it.
Technolize. It's an awesome show.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, there you go.
Show me Technolize. Pretty
Black
close.
Lagoon. I probably didn't give it like as much of a shot as I should have, but I'm okay with putting this at 3 for me.
Any reason why you dropped it? You just got it, saw enough of it.
Yeah, it was for Anime Club. And how Anime Club goes. If you didn't finish it when you were doing it for the club, I kind of just forgot about it and never really continued.
Okay, yeah.
But now I'm front loading, so this is not a good.
Yeah, this is what I did
Yeah.
earlier, and that was I mean, it worked out
Oh,
okay.
Captain Avatar is like, you dropped Black Lagoon in the chat. Sorry, this just
Yeah.
wasn't for me at the time. If I picked it up again, I might even like it. It just wasn't for me.
Already, I regret putting Mirai Nikki at 4. I wish Mirai Nikki was 5, and like this is like a 4 for me.
Mhm.
Like it's cool. It has its moments. It is a vibe. It is loud and brash and 90s action to a T. So
I feel like
I gotta
Sorry,
go
go ahead.
2. I gotta go 2.
this is putting me on blast a little bit.
Putting you on Black Lagoon list. Um,
Ooh.
Okay, next up, 4th one. High Score
High
Girl.
Score Girl. Okay. It was an okay show. I did consider continuing it, but it was just okay. I didn't really like the art style either. For the sake of not front loading the entire time I'm doing this, I'll put this at 5.
Okay. I did not like the show. I couldn't do it. The art style, yes, it's a love letter to video games. Yeah, sure, just because it has video games in it, but I just didn't find the romance that compelling. I think people generally liked season 2, and I just didn't care enough after season 1 to continue it, so I guess I get the love for it, but I'm putting it at 7. This was not my jam. Okay, next one.
Yozakura Quartet. Okay, again, like this is along the same lines as Kyoso Giga for me, except I think I finished Kyokuso Giga.
Yeah, because
no,
Kyoso
I did
Giga
not
was
finish.
good. And
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Literally could not tell you the difference between that show and this show, because it's again, Hammer Goes Boink. So therefore, I'll put this at 6.
Okay, and I think I'll put it in the same location. I think, it's trying to capture that same adolescent fantasy, urban fun that Kyoso Giga had. It just wasn't, it didn't have the same sauce for me. So, one of those shows that, like, mechanically on paper, I should like it just as much, and I just didn't. So, hey, we agreed on something. We both put it at 6. So, you have a 4 slot and a 7, and I have a 1 slot and a 5. So, once again, I'm risking on some big shows coming through.
We have a mid and a high and a mid and a low.
Yeah. So, 2 shows left. What are we going to get? Here we spin.
Michiko Tohachkin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 4 would work okay for me.
Yeah.
I might have put it a little bit higher if I were to reorder this, but 4.
I feel like I have to give it the number 1 slot. I think it's fun. It's the unique Studio Man Globe who just kind of puts out some weird stuff, or they did because they don't exist anymore. It's stylized. I think this is a Yamada work, so I'm putting this at a 1. But
once again, I'm getting blasted. I'm sorry I didn't finish it. I wasn't feeling it for 2 cores. It was an okay show for Anime Club. A lot of this was like partially watched things for Anime Club.
Yeah, that's fair. It's unique. It has that like South American style and personality to it. So, okay, so your next show will be a 7. My next show will be a 5. So I feel safer, but that hasn't served me well. The last show on the blind ranking.
Show me some garbage. Oh, right. Okay. I can't remember anything about this show, so this works out fine for garbage. Me. It's not. I remember it not even it being that bad, but it's kid from the boonies takes on the last dungeon, something along those lines. Because it's one of those really long Japanese titled shows that we don't have the actual English title for at the moment.
I mean, big witch hat. You can see that in the background. Big witch hat. And it's just another.
I don't even think I made it to the witch hat.
Okay, yeah, fair. I feel like it's similar to the Slime 300 show, just a seasonal isekai. Yeah. It felt a little bit different with its premise, but then just kind of returned to the same rote nonsense that we see over and over. Kind of harem-esque, going on fantasy things. It's a light novel. It didn't look great. Didn't sound great. It was just kind of a middling show.
Yeah. Plus, it had a 6.3 on Mal, so that's
not a great sign. So,
all right, let's see. Let's compare.
Whose list is better? Did I finally win one, or did you still clutch out?
I think in terms of public opinion, I think you have won. I think people would generally say Michiko, Black Lagoon, Horimiya, Mirai Nikki, Dungeon, Yozakura, High Score Girl. I mean, like, the bottom end may be a couple of adjustments, but I think the front end of your list is kind of accurate to a public opinion. Mine is very much my opinion.
Honestly, though, for even dropped shows, it's not really terrible. If someone was like, hey, I watched Michiko Tohachin, Black Lagoon, Horimiya Piece, Mirai Nikki, like, starting out anime, like, those are all solid enough shows where someone's like, yeah, like, you didn't watch the cruddiest of the crud. I want to... the game's over. You win, like, overall. I'm just going to do a couple more spins to see what we could have had. Tomodachi Game. I didn't get far in that.
Me neither.
But that would have been 6 or 7. Hellsing. Ooh, that could have been... It's not Ultimate, but that could have been...
It's not Ultimate.
That could have been, like, a 3 or 4.
If it was Ultimate, I might have finished it. I haven't seen it.
Yoshiraku this is what I needed the first time. Like, something that you gave a 6 or a 7, and I give, like, a 1 or a 2 to.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike Yoshiraku. I just didn't have the time to, like, watch, mindless comedy for 13 episodes, so I just didn't finish it. Rainbow. This is the most recent dookie of mine. That we just watched this in Anime Club.
Dookie.
Where we just discussed this. The reason why I don't typically give shows a rating if I have not finished them, but I had to for this one. I watched 12 episodes of this, and this was a steaming hot 2 out of 10. And yet the Mal score is 8.5, almost 8.5. Insanity, I tell you, because this is not a good show.
Well, this was a fun game, though. I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
Let us know
fun.
if you want to do this again, and
with more people and different opinions.
Yeah, a different context. But I think it worked mostly well. So let us know. But I think we have a trivia question, so we can take a quick little news break.
Yes, abbreviated BS. What Souls-like series does Veltol Velvet Velzevalto begin his streaming career with in Demon Lord 2099? And we will give you the answer after the news break.
Hey Anime Addicts, Mitsugi is here. I couldn't leave you hanging entirely, but I am back for your anime news break, getting us started off. Shangri-La Frontier is getting a 3rd season. It's coming out. It's going to be in production. This was announced after the 25th and final episode of Season 2 of Shangri-La Frontier. So it looks like this is going to be sticking with C2C, presumably, who has been working on this property since the fall of 2023. With 11 million copies in print of the web novel, Shangri-La Frontier just keeps clipping along with some cool promo art for the 3rd season. So look out if you're a fan of Shangri-La Frontier, because it's not going anywhere. Next up, the Kadokawa announced that Takuji Kato's Ma no Monotachi wa Kuwadateru, or The Demons Are Planning Something Good. The manga is going to be getting an anime adaptation with a very interesting cover art that has a somehow sexual-looking demon girl, which is just totally fine with me, but a little bit of a weird design. Almost reminds me of Disgaea a little bit. Property is going to be coming out here, and it seems to be about the process that the demons go through to defend their castles from the invading hero humans. So they talk about the R&D that goes into making traps, all the work and the upkeep to keep the traps running, et cetera, et cetera. So taking the isekai sort of storm the castle approach from the other side and seeing how demons work from behind the scenes to keep their maniacal ways functioning. So you have to look out for this property. The Demons Are Planning Something Good, coming out on a date that they haven't released yet, so we'll have to see. Next up, and probably the biggest news of the week, is that Re:Zero is getting a 4th season. Studio White Fox has been pumping out these seasons for quite a while. It debuted in 2016 in the spring. And also the 2nd season aired in 4 and 2 cores, which came out in 2020, in 2021. Then the 3rd season came out, so ending on November 20th of last year. So it's just a very long-running series with some very beautiful art, and you won't have to wait long. I'm sure it's going to be coming out pretty soon. Re:Zero, a big one, coming out again sometime, I assume, later this year. Next up, Medalist is getting a 2nd season. So the 13th and final episode of Medalist announced that the 2nd season is indeed coming. So it was produced by Studio Engi, the TV anime adaptation of the figure skating manga began airing on January 5th. So if you're a fan of Medalist, which a lot of people do seem to be, it's not going to have too long of a break. I don't see a date for the second half of the 2nd season, I guess, but I assume it is coming out soon. And lastly in the news, Apothecary Diaries is coming to Universal Studios Japan. So if you're one of those 7 gajillion people that are going to Japan right now and overcrowding their streets because the yen is still at 150 to the dollar, you can go to Universal Studios Japan, and starting on March 21st, which has already elapsed, The theme park is going to be collaborating with Apothecary Diaries with attractions that will open up in the summer. So there's some teaser art that shows you just about nothing about what they're going to be doing. But you will be able to enjoy something related to Apothecary Diaries. Probably just watching Mao Mao pull miracles out of her ass left and right. You'll be able to enjoy this. The attraction is going to open on July 1st and will run until the 4th of January 2026. So you got most of about half a year to go enjoy that at Universal Studios. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now let's get back to the podcast. So you're at the gym, feeling great and looking great too, I might add. That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now, without your headphones, you're suddenly lost in the wilds of Meatland. Don't get lost in the wilds of Meatland. Get the AAA Podcast extra content. We'll help you gain some fun times with our hobby addicts, after parties, and hentai episodes. Nothing gets your blood pumping quite like hentai, and nothing helps the podcast quite like your support. So head over to AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon to support the show. Again, that's AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon. Bro, sounds like you need a spot from the AAA podcast.
Hey, this is Miley Flanagan, the voice of Naruto Uzumaki, and I am an anime addict. Use your Rasengan!
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
So my next one is Island, which was not originally one of my top 5. It just kind of came into my lap because
I'm excited to hear about this.
Because like the way the picks fell out. One of the comments on my anime list, I think says this best. It is from a user, LightKita13, and he or she says, this island is about an island. The main character, Island, travels back in time to an island. He meets an island girl on the island named Island who sings about the island.
Yes.
On the island, he sexually islands another island girl named Island.
That's fantastic.
This island is about an island. The scenery features an island depiction of an island. The voice actors sound like islands and have islanders living on the island. This island is about an islander who needs islanders who go through Icelandic problems on an island in the middle of an island. Everything about this island is so island. This island is about an island.
Sounds like a Steam review.
I am failing the shit out of this show.
Out of 5, how many islands are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it an island within the island, in which making it not really an island at all.
Classic drop. Classic.
Yeah. Rest in peace. I feel
Not
like we need
dead.
Raggedy.
Stop letting people think that he's dead. He's not dead. He's just dancing in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's a cool boy. But yeah, Raggedy probably loves that show. He's a fan of the Islanders. It's a hockey team. Anyway, when we last left you, it was with a trivia question. Abbreviated BS. What Souls-like series does Veltal Velvet Velsvault begin his streaming career with in Demon Lord 2099? The answer, I'll accept 2 of them, is either Bloody Spirit or Bloody Spillet. There you go. It's the answer. Normally, this is a part of the episode where we thank all the people who have helped support us new this week on either Patreon or any of our other services, and we always appreciate it. Thank you. Big love. I don't have access to that list. Mitz usually puts it together. So instead, I just wanted to give a special shout out to Samurai Jackson on YouTube and in the Discord and other places, who made a Hatsune Miku like Vocaloid rendition of our theme song. Have you heard this,
I haven't
Carol?
heard this. No, I haven't. Are we going to play it?
Yeah, I'll play it now. I don't know if you wanted me to, but I'm going to.
Let's go on an adventure now where our dreams will come true. Let's set sail, riding the ocean blue. See what choice will reveal. We're foxes, lost in a neat sekai. I know I got you by my side.
cute.
It's so cute. I know he's
I don't
done
even
them
know how you do
before
that.
with like the
Like
mailbag stuff.
Vocaloid programs.
I
don't
did
know
not
how to
ask
do that.
them ahead of time if we could do that. Sorry if you didn't want to, but it's awesome. It's very cute and I love it.
Well, he shared it on our Discord, so I
yeah.
don't see why he wouldn't
Yeah.
want people to hear that.
I was gonna put the visuals up, but I forgot and broke my OBS. So with that, let's listen to a different song for Mailbag.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
If you'd like to submit a mailbag, you can do so at AAAPodcast.com. Mailbag button is what you need to click. Like Yotaru Vegeta did, as he has done several times before. He says, "Good day, AAA. I wanted to know if you had any favorite alternate OPs or EDs. Suddenly, the credits have a little something added to them. Maybe they added sound effects. Maybe a villain pops in to interrupt the heroes. Or maybe, like one episode of Evangelion, the protagonist lets out a scream of absolute horror as Fly Me to the Moon plays. Or, ambitiously, each episode has a new song and animation." I love this kind of topic because OPs and EDs, there are so many fun things that they have done with them that I feel like it's appropriate to give some shout outs. So Mason, what do you say?
I say I always love when this happens, and it kind of irks me when shows don't do this, and like it's very clear that it would be beneficial, even though I'm not the one actually having to do all that extra work. I do appreciate it when it happens. The two that always stand out to me that jump right to the forefront of evolving openings, obviously one has to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Across multiple parts, they usually, as the main villain gets introduced and has their big climactic battle with the protagonist, usually does some cool way of disrupting and breaking in, as Yotaru mentions, the villains popping in to interrupt the opening. Those are always extremely epic and kind of become the de facto defining version of that opening, and it's hard to go back from there. So parts 3, 4, 5, but even earlier than that, always had subtle things that I really appreciated. Obviously, the Monogatari series had new openings for each character as each girl becomes the main arc, if you will, of the show, and has some moments of different characters joining the singing as they're introduced, which is awesome. But the funniest one has to be Gintama's 9th opening, which all of the Gintama openings are actually pretty good from a shonen standpoint, but in this one, I don't really want to spoil it, but I will. But essentially, it ends with them like driving hazardously down the road on like his moped scooter thing, and
They strike a pose usually.
Yeah, they
and
strike
it's really
a pose
cool.
and do like the endings. They like sing along with the ending.
Yeah.
It goes like da da da, and it's like this big dramatic thing. But on this one, they're driving haphazardly and they botch it and they crash and they all like tumble out and are like laying down and they're like, "How'd you screw it up?" Like
we
you
did
had,
this
we did this
20
times and you blew it. And someone's like, "I thought they reused the opening," and they're like, "I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to show my face. Just cut to commercial." Like it's
and the OP still goes on.
it still goes on. You hear like the da da da, and they show like the dramatic pauses where they would have been had they not botched it a minute ago, and it's just like blank. It's the kind of
awesome.
lowbrow meta stuff that Gintama does in addition to all the other stuff it does well, that just is, it can get away with it, and it's just, it commits to it, and it's why it's so much fun. But what do you think, Caroline?
Well, I have known about that OP for a while, and I'm still technically watching Gintama, but only occasionally will I watch an episode when I have nothing else really pressing to watch. So who knows if I'll ever get to this point in Gintama's to see the opening as it happens. But I do wish I did not have the knowledge of this instance, because I can only imagine how funny it would be to actually watch it without being spoiled about it. But
Sorry,
yeah.
I ruined it, everybody.
No, I mean, it's been around for several years now, so can't be faulted for that. On my list, even though like there are so many options to go with that I just could not think of off the top of my head, and I'm trying to Google to remind me like what are the ones that are really, really good. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite find the right keywords to find a list of it on Google. But the first thing that did come to mind was Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 12, If you haven't seen it, you're watching Attack on Titan, then just skip ahead because it's a really good one. In the middle of the ED, which is already a very nice ED, and all of a sudden, there is a glitch. Like the audio gets crazy. There's like this really like blood-curdling scream happening in the audio. Just a barrage of visuals, some of which are like foreshadowing for the future arcs. And a sneak peek of season 3, part 2, a scene taken out of context. It was startling because none of the other OPs or EDs did anything like this, and it was so creepy that a lot of people. There's a lot of reactions on social media, people reacting to it as they're watching the show. And it's so good. It's so good. Another instance, I'm sure there are betters to highlight, but for me personally, the Erased opening, which throughout the season, like adds and takes away things in a very interesting manner. Not like the most crazy. I think I prefer the Attack on Titan example better than this, but it does leave a mark because it was one of the first anime that I watched that did something like that, and it blew my mind. And as I added to my list, I mentioned I added something to this answer earlier. Rakugo Season 2, they do a lot of very, very subtle changes to the opening, and it's eerie, it's cool, it's great.
Yeah, those are all great examples. The Erased one is probably the most on the nose.
Yeah.
But I would say that song is just so good.
It's a great song. The
just,
opening in general is a good opening.
Just the way it builds, it just gets you in the mood. It just has, I don't know, the build-up is phenomenal. But yeah, Rakugo
And
Shinju,
when the erasing actually happens in the opening, that was so great. It was great.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Yotoru, for the mailbag. And with that
was a good question.
I mean, I just love talking about OPs that do what I want them to do. Let's get to our review of Demon Lord 2099.
Review time. Demon Lord 2099. This is from fall 2024. A bit far back, to be honest. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. And the synopsis, very quickly given, is 2099, Shinjuku. It is in this city that the legendary Demon Lord Veltol returns. Ha 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 ha. Done by JC Staff, based on a light novel. Do we need to give any more of a synopsis than that, you think?
I mean, 500 years ago, Demon Lord who terrorized the fantasy world gets defeated and lies in slumbering stasis until he's revived in modern cyberpunk futuristic cyberpunk Shinjuku, and tries to get back on that demon lording life, and it's a little difficult.
Yeah, so it just remind me. So it was like a fantasy world and regular world Earth, they collided, right? And it resulted in this current setting.
Yeah, it's just an excuse to have some reverse isekai kind of thing happen where some guy. So essentially this show is a magic themed cyberpunk reverse isekai fantasy version of Kongming, where this character who was super successful back in his day has to learn about technology and phones and streaming and all the kind of stuff that Kongming had to deal with back in the day, except with, instead of trying to take over the idol world, Demon Lord Veltol needs to amass followers to regain his power to become the Demon Lord that he once was.
Yeah.
And accumulate drama and waifus along the way.
Mm-hmm. So what did you expect going into this, Mason?
So I had a lot of doubts back when we were doing our impressions. This seemed like a weird, ham-fisted combination of fantasy and cyberpunk in a way that just usually doesn't go over well. I wasn't expecting much, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised when we did our first couple impressions, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of engaging. I'm kind of feeling with it. I didn't love it enough to pass it, but it had potential. So when it got passed by listener's choice, I was like, okay, I'm curious to see where it goes. So I kind of was hoping to once again be pleasantly surprised by the full product.
Yeah, I think we went back and forth on this one between passing this show and was it
Mecha
the
Uday.
Mecha Uday?
Which,
yeah,
neither of which I was super huge on, but like they both were like, like maybe they could turn into something.
yeah, yeah. So I had some similar thoughts as you going into it with fairly low expectations, but I can really get behind an isekai if it unless it's like dog shit, then I can generally watch a isekai show and find something entertaining about it. So low expectations, but as we got into those first couple episodes, I was seeing some decent potential. I was even keeping up for it for several weeks as it was coming out. And then it got listener's choice, and I may have watched a few more episodes, got like 3/4 done, and then stopped until this past week to finish that up. Unfortunately, though, this means I've kind of forgotten a lot of plot details from the beginning, which is why I had to ask you how the world came to be. Did not have a lot of time to rewatch it this week, unfortunately. I wish I did. But that was how I was going into this. I was already kind of sold on it through the subsequent episodes after it got passed for listener choice.
Yeah. Spoiler-free recommendations. I don't think this is a bad show, but I think a lot of people were pleasantly surprised by it in the same way we were at the beginning, and equated that to it being a good show, when it's really not. Like, this show, for being the fantasy reverse isekai cyberpunk thing that I'm going to repeat 1,000 times, it's better than I thought it would be, especially at the beginning, but it kind of loses that freshness and novel ideas and becomes like that stick of gum that has that invigorating minty flavor, and then you keep on chewing it, and then it kind of just becomes a regular show.
Yeah.
And for as cool as this whole, it's cyberpunk, it's futuristic, it's, how, like this, it was a unique take on the world. We never really got to live in that world. We never felt fleshed out. It was just kind of like, we're going to have the Blade Runner billboards behind us, but we're really just going to talk about it and then just do streaming. Like, it very much felt like it could have been set today, and this whole technology excuse wasn't really essential. There is a subplot about like how the magic and technology works during the middle, but it really doesn't exist to help the world forward. We don't really explore. It's just you're kind of stuck with these characters, and the cool outside world you don't get to use. So this whole cyberpunk, it's a cyberpunk world, is very shallow. It just maybe as far as corporations bad, but that's about it. And I do like the main character, for his pompous traits. He could have very well been annoying and aggravating, but he's really, a fun ride. It's just not on Kong Ming's level, and
Definitely not.
By the end, it just becomes a middling experience with a ton of exposition that really gets in the way of these characters just hanging out, which is, I think, where the show is at its best. So I'm going to say no, it has potential, but I think at the end of the day, it's kind of just fine and not worth your time. So, sorry.
Yeah. In my case, I am under the belief that if like isekais and reverse isekais are your bread and butter, it's just what you are into, even if they're not like high art or anything like that. Sometimes you just need some mid, and I think this is a good choice. If you generally like those things, I think it's a decent show. It has some fun parts. There are some like, not so well-made things. Like, it's not a must-watch of the season, but I think it's doing far more than a lot of the other shows in its genre are doing. There were, as I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit, some rushed arcs. But the fact that they have a lot happening is in its favor, that they felt the need to rush things. And I think a lot of those things might get a little bit more development if they had a sequel, which I don't know if they will or not. Not exactly the top billing that will get a sequel, but everything gets a sequel these days.
Clearly.
As you said, the characters, I think, are the best part. They are entertaining. Veltal is not like the pure wish-fulfilling cardboard cutout character that would often be in this type of show.
Yeah.
He has character. He's pretty fun. The world has a lot happening in it, as I said. The relationship between Veltol and Graham, I thought, was interesting, and I would look forward to see how that develops. And as I think I've alluded to, I think I probably would go for a season 2 if it were to come out. Definitely not anything amazing, but it has its place for the people who enjoy this kind of stuff.
If this was the first show that popped up on our blind ranking, I'd probably put it in like the 5 or 6 slot. Like, it's not... I would expect more of me, but like, it's not the worst of the worst. So
I probably would put it at a 4.
Okay.
It's very middling.
Well, let's see how that reflects in our scores at the end of this review. But first, we're going to get to spoilers. So if you're concerned about that, this is your warning.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
So, Demon Lord 2099, where do you want to begin?
I think just generally speaking, I guess we can talk more about the characters. I would definitely was like the highlight of it. Okay, well, one thing I did not enjoy was like Veltol's character design, his hair, his permanent pink eyeshadow or purple eyeshadow, or whatever it was.
Blush, whatever it was.
I don't like
is
it.
Below, but
but yeah, he's very feminine looking, and that's not like a terrible thing. It's just not my preference.
Well,
especially when he has such a rock hard body, you know?
He's attractive because every character, both main or side, tells you how attractive and good looking he is.
Yeah.
But the design kind of works enough. So I like Veltol. He's enjoyable. He's charismatic. He's over the top in a way that is like anime campy, that is self-aware. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I thought the Machina, the kind of his underling from back in the day, who kind of helps revive him and kind of acts as his assistant at the beginning and then relationship kind of person by the end. I think their ship is cute. I particularly like how he will do something and she'll just be proud of him. Like, he'll just be streaming for 70 hours and she's like, oh, you did it. You beat the boss, or you did this. And like, she just generally cares about his, like, career and path. And you feel that this whole attempted heart-wrenching moment of, oh, like, she's in danger, and they flash back about the like 5 instances they've had over the course of the series really didn't work that well. But I really like the trio between those two and Takahashi when they're like going to a sleepover, and one of them starts saying sleepover, and then they kind of all join in. Like, that's it's endearing. It's great. Like, the main characters are fun. It's fun seeing them bounce off each other, and it's a pretty good time. The biggest issue, character-wise, that the bad guys are just so underwhelming and cartoonishly evil, and then their arcs get wrapped up before it even gets going, which we'll talk about later. It just becomes like very contrived difficulties for our heroes to surmount, and it kind of makes those arcs just feel like like I could have just skipped that and just had them goof off for another 2 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another main character that gets added in towards the end, Hizuki, I thought was a great addition as well. Like, I like the trio, but Hizuki is so funny to me. I think she's the perfect level of tsundere, where it's, you get the classic, getting pissed off at, the main character for saying her name wrong and all that stuff, but it's not to the point where it's annoying or over the top. It's just, I find her very funny. And so I kind of wish there was more of her by the end, because she gets added in kind of in the last few episodes.
So one thing the show does is it will end an episode with like a stinger about something that's about to happen, and then the next episode will begin like backtracking and telling us how we got there. So like one episode ends with him saying, I'm streaming right now. And then the next episode is like 10 minutes of them getting to that stage of him streaming. And when they, so like one episode he announces, I'm going to school. And then the next episode is 10 minutes of him going through the process to go to school. But they began one episode with Hizuki, and you see this girl with like heterochromia eyes. And instantly was like, no, because it's just like I can instantly tell it's another addition to the waifu pile, and I was like, I had my doubts. I was like, we don't need another one, just keep the trio. But I agree, she did come around. She was a different enough person and did add something to their dynamic. So I guess I didn't hate her by the end, but I did have my doubts.
Yeah, I think it's so you say like adding it to the waifu pile, and technically speaking, it you know, he is the only male character, and now he has another very beautiful female counterpart in his group, in his friend group, and there's no other males around. But he really does not show any romantic interest in Takahashi or Hizuki.
It doesn't,
and barely any in Akina, but.
So I agree that it doesn't feel like a traditional like harem type situation where it's like, oh, who's he gonna pick? His loyalties are elsewhere. Like, I agree with you. Like, they handled it pretty well from a inter-character perspective, especially because, you know, some of them are 500 plus years old and some of them are in high school. But at the same time, the way that the show is like, hey, you know, Hizuki, we're gonna show her in the bath, or like we're gonna show the same shot of Takahashi reclining, so you see her armpits and her feet multiple times in the same pose
I didn't
episodes.
realize that. But you're probably
I
right.
feel like the show's like, yeah, they're not a harem, but like, don't you want to see what they look like? And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I think that's a good transition to another thing I want to talk about was the fan service, because while not the worst I've seen, it didn't make me angry, but it was like, yeah, I see what you're doing. As you mentioned, you know, those shots, and then Hizuki very voluptuously in the bath, and then and then when she transforms into Meldia, and this goddess, this all-powerful goddess, her outfit is a ripped up white dress, but with a perfect little bow tie at the neck. So this is intentional. This is not like a
very tactical,
like a battle. Like this is like a war-torn dress or anything like that. It is like perfectly intentional with a bow tie at the neck, but with her breasts just on full display.
And then she transforms again to her super mode, and you're like, okay, now she's gonna get more geared up. Nope, it's the same exact dress but red.
Yeah.
It's like they had two chances. I mean, I agree with you. Like, it does have fan service, yes, but it's not as bad as other shows. It doesn't feel as dirty, and they do have Beltol, the male lead, also kind of in these fan servicey things where he's like, oh, my muscles are so sexy and awesome, and you're like, yeah, like at least they're going both ways with it, but it's still there. So it's present.
It doesn't feel the same. Like when it's male fan service, it's not the same.
No, it's not.
Guys would love to, you know, be seen as really ripped and awesome and have their shirt off. With girls, typically speaking, they don't want people to see them without a shirt on. Typically speaking. It's just not the same. But that's going into another conversation. Yeah, so at times it was fine. Sometimes it was even funny, like the whole rubber ducky covering up Veltol is areas. I thought it was funny. Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of liked the world building in the show, but as you said, it was very superficial.
So
in ways.
to back up just a bit, so the show is pretty much composed of two parts. You have the first 7 episodes, which is he gets revived and he needs to take out the man in charge of the big corporation that's doing bad stuff. And they do that arc, and then they're like, okay, let's do this almost essentially separate school Shinjuku arc Akihabara, where they go to school, remove all the cyberpunk stuff that they had been building up with the technology, and kind of just try to speedrun a whole arc with this whole conclusion of Meldia and goddesses and obtaining these 3 relics in 4 episodes. Like, there's just...
Yeah.
It kind of speedruns both of them, and it kind of detriments both of them because of it. And, I mean, no, you talked about the world building. Like, there's technology in the show, but the technology is used so much as streaming, which we have currently. We're doing it now. Wow, we are in the future. But also... like the way they integrate technology is this hacker girl Takahashi who's, can do all this stuff, but the level of technology they show is just her like looking at a computer. You don't even see what's on the screen, and she's like, okay, I gotta hack into the mainframe. Oh, if I look at the folder structure, got it. And like that's the technology interaction we get. And there's this whole excuse of, oh, we use technology to make magic and stuff and fuse it to, okay, fine, but it's pretty surface level across the board of this world.
Yeah, you're right.
But I will say the comedy is sometimes good and sometimes unintentionally good. So there's times where, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but this Veltal guy, this ex-demon lord with all these people following him into his battles eons ago, is now like using streaming to cultivate a following to get more power. And he walks into the big bad's room, who's like, I'm the king of this world. I have all the technology. I have the latest and greatest. And Veltal's like, it's okay. I have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
You're like, well, in what world does that make you strong? But it works. Like, I don't know. It's cute. It's just, at the heart of it, there's too much padding because of poorly done exposition. There's so many moments where instead of just showing the world, they have to Zelda companion fairy like talk through every scene and explain why things are going on. And even the show itself in a later episode says, you say a lot of nothing sometimes. And that's perfectly how this show is, where, I mean, for example, take episode 9, where we're in the second arc of this school invasion thing. And in a 20-long-minute show, give or take, we get 4 minutes of Veltal just answering meaningless classroom questions to show how cool he is and knowledgeable he is about the world. Then we get 10 minutes of this duel with 0 stakes, just once again proving what we already know of how powerful he is against just a random dude. Then we get 4 minutes of our character just walking down the street talking about what we already know about how smart V is and their plans in this world. And then in the last 4 minutes, they go to a maid cafe, which...
The maid cafe was fun.
It was a fun thing.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, like, there's a lot of wasted time. And this is okay because the characters are kind of endearing. But in a show where you're trying to fit a whole arc in 4 episodes, it just feels like wasted time. Like, the show, it needed to be rearranged somehow.
I was watching this and I'm like, so the goddess has been reborn. We have to figure out defeating the goddess, getting Hizuki back, getting into the treasury or the library or whatever it is. Find out if there are like immortals left in this world, all in this one episode. When the fight hasn't started, they have to fight Meldia, they had to defeat Meldia, etc. It's just,
It just felt very cramped. And I don't know if this needed an extra couple episodes to flesh out. There's so many contradictions and little things that over time kind of just, hurt its case. And she had a ridiculous outfit, and then her body's returned with her huge tatas just busting out of her uniform. Like, come on. Like, that's the first, I don't know. There was a sushi meme in there. I didn't get the sushi meme. It only worked.
There was a sushi meme?
So there was this sushi meme where it's like, oh, would you like ramen or this, or go out for sushi? And they did that like 3 or 4 times.
Is it because Demon Lord Veltal keeps on calling Hizuki Hijuki or Hijiki? Hijiki? I think that might be it. And apparently that's like seaweed.
So like there's also like that teacher who he called Maguro, which is tuna.
Yeah.
So like, but that was all after the fact. So maybe it put sushi on the brain. So all I can think of is that this joke actually makes sense in the dub. So I watched both versions. So in the sub, there's a scene where Makina, who is shortened to Maki sometimes, she is saying something very sensible. And in the sub, Takahashi's like, oh, that's her Maki for you. Like, that's what she does. And in the dub, they translated it to, that's how our Maki rolls. So, like...
Really?
Like a Maki roll? Like a sushi... Like, once again, the comedy was just very hit or miss, and I really had to dig deep for some of them. But
Yeah. Was there any like moment at the beginning of the show that made him obsessed with sushi that I don't remember?
Maybe I forgot, but I don't really remember. I think they were just like, oh, let's have an in-universe meme
What a
of sushi.
weird like choice to
And,
make
like,
that your inside joke.
It's really a small thing. Like, it didn't take that much time away. I'm not like, oh, there was a fake meme that I don't get, so the show's bad. Like, no, like, it's cute, but I didn't know what it added. And the show is just full of these little moments that took time away from a plot that was uninteresting and took time away from I don't know, it was like a snake eating its own tail kind of thing it was just cutting itself at both ends.
Yeah.
Visually, the show was fine. Like, it was very plain. A lot of the characters looked like they were designed from like Digimon with like zero effort to match the mouth flaps.
I thought it had like some transition moments I thought were good.
It did have some cool transitions. I remember there was like a scene where Makina's like assembling a set of food for him earlier that was kind of neat, but also there was some very on the nose stuff of like Hizuki is telling her tragic backstory, then it cuts to like water falling on like the ducks, like the rubber ducks like eyes.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like a tear, and it's like so like, I see what you were trying to do, but it's so on the bill that I can't give you credit for it. And the
the bill.
Yeah. It held up mostly, but like episodes 10, 11, like near the end, it hit a brick wall, and like the character designs not the designs were fine, but the character animation and just drawings kind of fell off by the end. But it was very plain. It served its job.
Also, I thought there were a couple times where the music dropped during a fight, and I thought it was
the music
fun.
was not. So
it wasn't.
All I have in
great.
my notes, you can
It's
see it
just that
here.
moment.
I'm sharing my notes. I just wrote Timu Hiroyuki Sawano. Someone was like, "Oh, the Sawano drop. It sounds so good. Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill. Can you give us that big bombastic stuff?" And someone's like, "I can try." And they tried, but a lot of times it did not hit the same way I think it should have.
Mason, your notes put mine to shame. You're so well organized.
It's okay.
I don't like seeing your notes. It's telling me I'm not
look
doing
away.
enough.
My eyes. I don't know.
Other characters, as I mentioned before, I really, really liked the scenes between Velto and Graham. You know, just with like established history, and then you can see that there's a lot of connections forming between them, which I love.
So Graham is the hero who existed back in Veltol's time and still exists to this day. And like they've been sworn enemies for centuries, and now they have to find multiple times to work together and help each other out and kind of forge a bond to take down a worse evil or whatever. It's a great idea. I love that. But once again, I feel like I could have used more time to Graham being like, "Hey, you killed millions of my people, millions of great people." And instead he was like, "Well, we only got 5 minutes, so I guess I'll team up with you." Like, it was cool in concept. I like a lot of what the show probably did better in the light novel, but I feel like the anime wasn't the way to do it. But
I agree on that. There was something else I was going to say that I forgot.
I mean, which arc did you like more between the first or the second one?
The first arc definitely had the time it needed. I'll definitely say so. It's a better made arc, but I found the school arc to be the most entertaining because I liked Hizuki. I liked their little day on the town kind of stuff. School arc is always fun, like them pretending to be students, being OP, him knowing the histories because he was there.
Yeah,
it's not amazing, but it's fun.
It's deep, and it's not deep, but I would have enjoyed it more if they didn't say, "Okay, you need to meet up with the 3 clans and find the 3 regalia and do all this and satisfy this." And I'm not looking at my watch saying, "You, my guy, the show has 2 more episodes. When is this going to happen?" And I think had they had another 6 episodes to flesh it out and spend the time, it would have gone a long way.
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say.
Sorry, yeah.
I do think that there is a bit of what's the word for, Veltol has this history. He has killed many, many people.
Yeah.
He was striving to rule the world under no boundaries. He really wanted, that's how much he wanted to rule the world. And I guess you could say it's for the reason being he wants to protect the immortals, but still very bloodthirsty killer. And now he's just a little guy, He's just a little streamer guy who's having fun.
But
he's a
so
cool
many
guy.
followers. Yeah, playing video
I have so many
games.
followers. So yeah, and so it's just a mischaracterization, if I were to use that word, probably incorrectly. Like, he was this person, and now he's magically cool. He's cool with everybody.
Yeah. I feel like they're going for that Gatma way of him still having the idea of him as this grand, epic, general leader, the titular demon lord, but he's like, but how do I play this video game? I'm bad at it. Like, they kind of do it, but I could have used more of him buffooning around in his ineptitude beginning, instead of me like, I mean, I'm still pretty much immortal, and I still have quite a few spells. I'm just not super strong. I don't know.
And just following up on a lot of things we've kind of already touched on, the Meldia fight, it was so quick. It was less than an episode where they got that all squared away. And she's supposed to be the boss of this season, so you would think that would mean a little bit more time devoted to that. And like how it gets resolved, it fell flat for me. Like, I felt like it was building up for Meldia and Graham to like talk to each other, for her to realize just how much her actions affected him and actually apologize, because that's all that she was doing in the leading up to her reveal and all that. She was subconsciously apologizing the entire time for her actions. So the fact that she did not actually, I feel like her apologizing to Graham would have, in actuality, would have come full circle for her, and that would be the end. And I think that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, especially when you consider that they extensively explain during the fight that Veltol's like, oh, my physical attacks, such as sword strikes or kicks, are rendered useless because you have a defense to it. I have to use my magic to hit you. I just can't hit you. And so at the end, he finally kills her with a sword strike. The very thing he said was rendered useless. Now, maybe he imbued that sword strike with magic in a way that I get that, but also don't spend 2 minutes of your fight explaining why your sword doesn't work and then win the fight with your sword. And be like, yeah, like maybe you can explain it away, but why spend that time if you're just going to mitigate it later? It's just the show trying to be more ambitious in the setup and waste time with exposition that really didn't pay off to any quantifiable benefit by the end. So I don't know. I think I can score this. I think I'm ready.
All right.
But you got anything else on your agenda?
I think we're good. I think we're good to go.
Okay. This show felt to me kind of like Dimension W back in the day. Like, it's a futuristic show with energy problems, and it's kind of neat, but also kind of forgettable at the end of the day. And I felt like this show had a lot going for it, but it just, I don't think I remember it much in a couple years besides he was a streamer for 2 episodes. I feel like at the end of the day, this show got the JC Staff B team treatment, and it probably deserved more in production values and episodes. I think it kind of just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't firing on all cylinders for me despite how much potential it had at the beginning. So, end of the day, I'm going to give it 2 Digimon Demon Lord monsters out of 5 because it was fine. Mid, I might almost say, but I did not.
Yeah. With this show, it's an okay show. If I were to compare it to something, I would compare it to Devil is a Part-Timer, which has similar issues. It has some good characters, some good comedy, not so great production, and the stories were, especially regarding the second season of Devil is a Part-Timer, just not very greatly produced and paced. But that doesn't mean that they don't have some pros to it. Again, characters, it's fun. I think that if you are a fan of The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 1 at least, then you might find something to enjoy in this one. And as you said with the, we got the B team set up, honestly, probably did not deserve any more because it's another reverse isekai, kind of cannon fodder. Not cannon fodder, just fodder for the people for the season, but it, for the fact that it has some pretty decent things in it, I think that is, that's worth some praise for it. I think I'm going to give this show 3 subscribers to my YouTube channel out of 5.
3 million out of 5. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
This show could have been so much worse. I think it did offer a lot, especially in this fall season, and deserves, I think, some worth your time, at least checking out the beginning of it, if that's your kind of thing. But watch Kong Ming instead if you want to see OP Man from the past vibing in today's society. And that will do it for this episode of the podcast. I hope you guys had fun listening. Hopefully you participated with us, kind of pseudo, in the blind ranking and post your links of your rankings wherever you do it. I don't know, Discord maybe, YouTube, who knows. But thank you, Caroline, so much for joining me on this wild odyssey. Next week, we are doing a review of Orb on the movements of the Earth. There was an orb in this show. I forgot. There was a whole orb in
there is an orb in this
Demon
show.
Lord. It's the era of
the whole
orb.
time I was wondering, where is the orb?
And then finally, after pondering
What's their eyeball? I should have done 3 heterochromias that are actually orbs out of 5.
They're all orbs. The orbs were inside us the whole time.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Orb. I'm kind of behind on my watch of it. I wished I was a little bit further ahead, but I'm excited to talk about it.
That's okay. I felt, it's a 2-core show. I started watching it, and I'm like, I can't talk about the writing in Demon Lord 29 while I compare the writing with Orb, because it's just different everything. But that should be a fun review. We got a full crew for that one. Once again, support us at AAAPodcast.com. You get bonus content, links to our Discord, and all the other fun stuff like submitting mailbags and so much more. Once again, we appreciate you all for listening and joining us today. Wherever you are in the world, have a great one, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.